Hey guys, welcome to or back to the channel. So I wanted to just do another person-to-person chat where we just sit down and we have a deep conversation with each other. I know right now it's kind of a little bit one-sided, but definitely if something resonates with you throughout the video, comment down below and we can continue the conversation. But I love filming these videos because I just love having deep conversations in person with my friends. So this kind of feels like that, but with you guys. My name is Genevieve Mason, and if you do not know me already, on my channel I share content about self-development, human optimization, contortion, ethical living, and I love doing these types of videos. So if that interests you at all, definitely make sure to subscribe, and if you do subscribe from this video, comment that down below and I will reply to your comment and also just be extremely grateful. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. I did a poll on my Instagram just like asking you guys, like, would you say that you care a lot about what other people think, and it was definitely a overwhelming response of yes. Definitely. So this is something that definitely rings like close to home. I don't know what that saying is. I definitely have firsthand experience with this, which I will get into in this video, but I feel like everyone at some point in time has allowed the opinions of another person or the fears of what other people are gonna think dictate their actions, and that is so damaging to our confidence and our security in ourselves, and ultimately it's just going to leave us in a place of non-expression. I was journaling about this so much this morning, and it's crazy how something like us falling into a cycle of caring so much about what other people think, which, let's be honest, a lot of us are in a cycle like that. It is leaving the world as a whole in a place of non-expression. And when we're not able to fully express ourselves and we're just constantly falling back into that fear-based mindset, we're not going to be able to live up to our fullest potential. And that is obviously not what we want. And I've totally been there. A few years ago, I was nowhere near as secure in myself as I am now, and I would always be checking with my friends before I posted on Instagram. I would always check with my friends about what I should wear. I would always check with people when it came to making decisions, and even like when I started this YouTube channel, it took me a solid 3 or 4 attempts just to get started and have it finally stick, and it didn't stick until I finally was able to break away from that fear of what other people were going to perceive me as. Were they going to think I was awkward? Was I gonna make mistakes? Like, of course I was gonna make mistakes, but I'm here now, and it's because of this mindset shift that I made in myself. I was literally just always seeking that source of external validation, which is something that so many people can probably relate with. I know that it's so easy to make that a habit and even a necessity. Like, in order to do anything, you need that source of external validation, and it's so bad because we should really just be able to tune into our own mind and hear our own thoughts. But at that point in my life, I honestly just cared so much about what other people would be perceiving me as that I couldn't even hear my own opinions. So I wasn't even really making decisions for myself, and that meant that I sacrificed a solid few years of finding myself. So now, if I could go back and change this, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't. I am definitely a person that believes everything happens for a reason, and in hindsight, I know that I needed to go through that time in my life, and now because of that time in my life that taught me this lesson, I am now in a place where I am so free to express myself. I feel confident in myself. I feel confident in the vision I have for my future. So I'm really just hoping that this video is going to help you start your journey towards reaching this point as well. If you're not already there, hopefully this is just going to help people. That's my goal. So if you are currently stuck in a loop where you're constantly seeking that external validation and you're finding it really hard to just hear your own conscience and not care what other people think, then I really hope that this video helps you. I hope that you can learn from my experience, and hopefully this will fast track your journey into just becoming more secure in yourself. So section 1 is pertaining to how you show up in the world and your actions. So to go along with the title of this video, the first step is really just being mindful of when you find yourself putting the ideas or opinions of another person in front of your own. And really just try to pick up on when you're doing this, and then in that moment try to flip the cycle and tune into what you are feeling in your heart and in your mind, really ask yourself, are my intentions in the right place? Am I leading with passion? Am I leading with intention? Because really that's what matters. And if someone is going to judge you for doing what's in your heart and following your passion and expressing yourself, and as long as you're not hurting anyone else, like, who has the problem here? Because it's not you, it's the person that is judging you. So let's just say that there's something that you've really been wanting to do. It's been on your mind for a while now, whether that's changing career paths, maybe you're switching majors in school, maybe you're finally starting that YouTube channel that you've been wanting to do for the longest time, but at the end of the day, you're scared of what other people are going to think, and it has meant that you have kept putting it off, and it's just sitting in the back of your mind, and it's constantly telling you to follow through with it, but you're just scared. Clearly here, your intuition is trying to tell you something, and the first step is just following through. Take that first step and see how it goes. And then if your friends, your family members, your co-workers, whoever it is, if they judge you, just know that they are only judging your first step. And I know that this is easier said than done, but seriously, just let them judge you. Let them criticize you, because really it's not important. But recognize the fact that they cannot see your vision. They do not know what's in your mind, and they do not know what your intentions are for your future. They are literally just making a judgment based on your first step. And nobody's first step is perfect. My first step when I started this channel was not perfect. That video is so bad, and every time I see it now, I'm just like, yikes. But if I didn't take that first step back then, I would still be circling back to that same idea of starting a YouTube channel, and I would not be here talking to you right now. But that is because our dreams and our desires, they are all within us, and they're not visible to other people until they are realized. People really don't have any idea what your second step or your 10th step or your 30th step is going to look like. They do not know what your life is going to look like when everything that you've been working for pays off and your dreams become your reality. They can't see that far into the future. And also just accept the fact that you're not going to get that external validation, because at the end of the day, people cannot affirm something that isn't visible to them. But that is why it is your job to nurture this vision of yours and wait until people can see it. And hopefully some people, if they get you, they will also get your vision, and they will be able to encourage you along the way. Obviously, having a support group when you're doing anything new or anything a little bit uncertain, it can be extremely helpful. And I'm definitely very grateful for the support group that I've had over the past few years. But also, some people literally will just never understand your vision, and that's okay, because chances are they don't understand because either they're very small-minded or they have their own set of limiting beliefs holding them back. And just because they have certain limiting beliefs does not mean that you have to also live by those beliefs, because you have your own beliefs. So really, the only thing that matters is that you're leading with intention and you're following your passions in life, and also that you're not hurting anyone else. But I feel like that's kind of a given. When I started really making changes in my life and expressing myself, and when I started this YouTube channel, I was at a point in my life where I was doing online school, and I did have some contortion classes and dance classes every week that I would go to, but in general, there wasn't a lot of room for like judgment from other people. However, I am positive that certain people did judge me, but I just knew that I had to follow through with what my intuition was telling me. I knew that I had to start a YouTube channel. I knew that I had to further my personal growth journey. I knew that I had to look into spirituality. I knew that I wanted to start reading more books and curating my habits, and honestly just stepping into my full hippie potential. But had I allowed fear to stop me from doing that, those ideas would just keep coming back to me until I eventually followed through. Because if we feel strongly about something, that idea is not just going to subside. It's going to sit at the back of our mind until we deal with it, because some things are just inevitably meant to take place in our lives. So we just gotta follow through. And at some point, after you've consciously chosen to follow through with what it is that you wanted to do since the very beginning, and you've since then been able to make it happen, all of the turmoil, all of the judgment, the criticism from other people, the unexpected turns that just happened because unexpected things happen, once it all pays off, you're gonna be so happy that you started right now. And also, the people that judged you in the beginning, the people that criticized you in the beginning, they might actually start turning to you for advice choice, because sometimes when people judge you for doing something, it's because they're too scared to do it themselves. And honestly, you are going to feel like such a badass. I also personally choose to believe that we are built to handle the pressure that comes with our calling, and honestly, I feel like anyone that's watching this video or that has taken a step just in general to better themselves and break out of the conditioning of society and all that, I truly believe that our calling is higher. So that does mean that there could be more challenges along the road. So moving on to section 2, it is pertaining to physical appearance. And this is another side of the conversation that I really wanted to touch upon because it is something that I battled with for a long time. I would say probably from like ages 7 to like 17. I know a lot of people always say people aren't focusing on you because they're too focused on themselves. They're not going to notice your insecurities because they're focusing on their own insecurities. And that is definitely true, but I just kind of wanted to expand on this and kind of give my own take on it. So say someone does notice an insecurity of yours and maybe it's like the first time you meet them, chances are they're going to initially acknowledge your insecurity. They might. We have the sun going behind clouds. We have sirens going off in the distance. Am I gonna get through this video? First off, if they're a good person, they're not going to say anything, and chances are they're going to probably just acknowledge it in their mind like, oh, she has acne. But then they're not going to give it a second thought. They're just going to move on to thinking about something else, like what you're saying, what you're doing, what is happening around you. Or on the flip side, if they have already met you before, maybe it's a friend or a family member or someone that you see every day at work, at school, whatever, they're not going to see you for your acne. They're going to see you for your energy. They're going to see you for your personality. They're not going to just see you for your insecurities. They're going to see you for you, the person that they've seen many times before, each time looking more or less the same. I know just like from experience, I feel like sometimes we can see ourselves a little bit differently every single day. Like, oh, we're having a bad hair day, or oh, our body looks this way today when it looked that way yesterday, which for one is normal. But also people are just going to more or less see you the exact same every single time that they see you. They're not going to notice little changes like that. They're going to see you for you. So it's likely that they're not even going to pay any attention to your body, because at the end of the day, that is the least interesting thing about you. One of my close friends actually shared on her Instagram story a while ago, like actually quite a while ago, but this came back into my mind when I was outlining this video. But she was sharing on her Instagram story that she had been looking through old photos of herself, and she kind of realized that all of the negative thoughts that she thought when she was in that moment in time, and she kind of just realized like, oh my god, I thought I looked so much like this, or I looked this way, but in reality it was just in her head. And that is something that I really relate to. We tend to judge ourselves based on how we feel like we look that day, but really it's so often just in our head. Basically, when we had this revelation, we were thinking, why not just look at our current bodies from a place of hindsight? Let's view our bodies how our future selves would view our bodies, if that makes sense. So it definitely was not like a I dislike my body now thing. It was like, I just wish that I could have appreciated how I looked then as well as I do now. And at some point we're gonna look back and just think, why was I so damn fixated on that one little thing? Because it was literally just in my head. Like, we are the only ones that care so much about our individual bodies. So really, just why not be present and appreciate the body that you have in this current moment, because really you can't change it. All that matters is that you're healthy, you're fueling your body with good, nutritious food in order for it to be able to thrive and have energy and be strong, and everything else is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. And also, you're beautiful just the way you are. Make sure to comment down below if something that I said resonates with you. I would love to hear what your biggest takeaway from this video was. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up because it really does support my channel. You can also subscribe and tick the bell icon to get notified every time I upload a new video. Here's my Instagram if you would like to see more content from me, and until next time, I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!